Okay, Kat Robinson is here with us. She's the HAR Vice Chair, a local agent for Compass Real Estate. Kat, welcome to Hello Houston. We're going to talk about this new report.
Thank you so much for having me.
I love real estate. I buy and sell a bit myself. My mom was a realtor. I love to go to open houses just to snoop.
Don't we all?
Don't we all? So tell us some good news. The average home price up, down? Where are we on all of that?
So average home price is actually up a little bit, and sales are up, which is really exciting because we've seen numbers slip over the last 6 months.
Well, and we had this interest rate hike about 2 years ago that scared everybody to death.
Yeah,
right?
It was pretty brutal.
I want to tell you, the first home I bought in the 80s, the interest rate was 12.5%. And right before we closed, my realtor called and said, I have great news. We're down to 11.5%. And I was like, oh my God, 11.5.
Sweet.
Where are we now? About 6.6?
We're 6.1.
6.1?
So around through there, yeah.
So that's good. What do you think? You think interest rates will come down because of the tariff issue? Or,
oh my gosh.
I know you're not an economist.
I mean, I really wish I had a magic ball that would tell me everything,
Yeah.
but I feel like the volatility in our world's market is offering some opportunity locally. So I
we
think
have a pretty high inventory, right?
we've got great inventory, 4.6 months of choices for everyone, and I think between the volatility of the interest rates with them slipping compared to 2 years ago, right, where they were 8%, now they're around 6%, plus the multiple choices you have.
Kind of a buyer's
just
market, would you say?
I think so. I think, my current buyers, thankfully, we've been able to negotiate a little bit extra off a price and also get more repairs done because sellers want to get the deal done.
But for your industry, it's better when prices go up because there's more profit to be made. But at the same time, you want prices low enough that people can get into buying homes and all. How do you settle that in your own world? Where is the sweet spot?
Well, I think the sweet spot would be a 5% interest rate.
Right, which
Right.
That would be
mortgages rates
amazing.
still have not gone down. I mean, are we at around 7%?
No, they're around 6
6
now.
right now.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry
and
about that.
and
Yeah.
depending upon what type of loan product you're going after, there are some really great products where I think one of my buyers just locked in 5.5%.
So
using
you
a
could
special
buy
program.
down the points a bit?
Well, you can buy it down, but there's also special programs that the federal government requires lenders to have a certain percentage of loans in low to moderate income areas. And as diverse as Houston is and our lack of zoning, you would be really surprised as to what would qualify as a low to moderate income area.
Is there still private mortgage insurance required on 90% loans?
Yes.
'Cause, so to fight that, back a few years, they would do an 80-10-10. And you would have an 80% primary loan and a 10% a loan and maybe put 10% down. But you didn't have to have private mortgage insurance because your primary was 80.
Yeah.
Kind of sneaky, but I mean, if you can get it to work.
Yeah, that was one way to work it. I haven't seen people use that strategy recently at all.
Yeah.
A lot of buyers are choosing to buy down the mortgage insurance right up front, or if their credit score is high enough, they could do a 10% down and get out of it. So there's some really cool programs out there. The key is to match up with a really well-invested realtor who knows the right lenders to push you to.
Oh, if anyone has a question for you, I want to give this number, 713-440-8870. So let us know if you have any questions from Kat. So you've been doing this for how many, 10 years?
13 years.
13 years.
Yeah, lucky 13.
So you've seen the swings, you've seen the ups and downs. Where are we now, do you think?
I think we're in a really positive space. Again, with sliding interest rates, with tons of choices, it's a win-win for both buyer and seller right now.
Is there any place that's particularly popular? I know for a long time that Garden Oaks and Candle, I know it's all that area up to north of I-10 and the 610 Loop and the Heights, big popular places. Is that still true?
Yeah, those are great places. But the top communities that are selling are new home communities in the way northeast of town, because those builders have purchased, like pre-purchased mortgages ahead of time and are offering 4.99% locked in 30-year notes. So buyers getting a lot more for their money out yonder, way out yonder.
Yeah.
Well, That's interesting because these hot places that have come and continued, the tax basis has gone with it. So do people have to look at that when they buy something? I think, how much is the taxes going to be?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the conundrum that we all have is that the older the neighborhood, the lower the taxes are, because traditionally the debt that was developed or the debt was put into place to develop the land has been paid off. So that tax rate is lower, but you have older homes that aren't as energy efficient. Right? So you can either have an older home, lower tax rate, higher electricity bills possible, or you can go to a brand new home where your tax rate's a little higher, but your energy bills might be lower.
My mama always said nothing beats new, that's for sure. So let me ask you this question that's weather related. The flood issues that we have in Houston, are these builders of these new communities, are they making sure that doesn't happen where they're building these places?
Well, our county and cities are really adamant about flood control. And so they do have many, many requirements for dry reservoir space, drainage, all of those pieces to keep our homes as dry as possible.
That's good.
Yeah.
I want to jump in and remind everyone here that we are talking about the Houston real estate market. We're talking with HAR Vice Chair Kat Robinson, a local agent with Compass Real Estate. And our number here, if you would like to call in and join in the conversation or ask your questions while we have her right in house, 713-440-8870. I want to go back to that thing that we were talking about a little bit ago, and I know you don't have a crystal ball, but from where you sit and this idea of these tariffs and steel and lumber and prices, do you think if folks are thinking about buying a home to jump now and do it, or do you think waiting to see what happens with interest rates and all that, it's better to hedge your bet a little bit here and wait? When is the time, if you're in the mindset of thinking, new property for me?
Yeah. Honestly, if it is your primary residence, you buy when it's time.
Yeah.
You don't need to play the market because, whenever you have that extra, that surprise baby and now you're too much family for your home, you move. When you are relocating, you move. So life circumstances are going to push you to make a good decision for your family when it time.
I have a quick question because, Kat, the HAR releases that report, their monthly report.
Yes.
What are we seeing right now at noon that is different from last month, 6 months ago, that people that are obviously not going to be reading this need to know and should know?
So I think the key points is that inventory is up.
Yep.
Right? So more choices. That's fantastic for buyers. Sales are up, which is great for sellers. It's showing that buyers are active in the market, ready to go. And what's great is we had a 12% increase of pending sales. So that means if everything closes as intended, we're going to see a surge in sales again next month.
To that point, closing can be an issue. That can get backed up.
Right. There's so many moving parts to a transaction in real estate. So again, the key is pairing up with an incredible realtor who knows transactions and has open communication with all the different parties involved in a transaction to get it to close.
That's fair.
And so you mentioned sales are up right now. Where would you say is hot in the greater Houston area? Demand is hitting and people are going to this area.
Again, it's the new construction. I'm seeing the biggest amount of sales there, and that's location based. But the biggest surge in sales are the $1 million plus. So year over year, we saw a 26% increase of sales in $1 million plus luxury properties in Houston.
Wow.
Well,
That's interesting. So do people still move for schools?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so given that we're seeing that $1 million plus, obviously we're looking at national news. Now, President Trump's tariffs have been announced. Have you seen any kind of, I know it's very new, but are y'all anticipating that is going to move the market in any direction?
Well, it's definitely going to increase the cost of new construction with all of the different materials that we import. So, and I think it's important as a consumer that you know that new construction is your ceiling for the price for housing. So if you're trying to sell in a neighborhood where there's new construction, guess what? There could be some equity coming your way because of the tariffs. So there's some silver lining to that.
What about, there seem to be more and more tax breaks for homestead exemptions coming out of the Texas legislature.
Yes.
Can you update us on that?
Yeah, our political action committee is all over lobbying for lower property taxes. So we were actually at the Capitol 2 weeks ago. Over 3,000 realtors showed up to meet with our legislators. 181 meetings took place on that one day. It's bananas.
Well, what was your main message?
It was, hey, home ownership is the platform for success. Number one, we know that homeownership provides a foundation for kids to flourish, for humans to flourish, because we know where we're going to put our head at night and where we're going to start our day, right? And so we've got to do everything we can to protect that, including reducing property taxes.
Are we getting millennials on board with that idea? I've heard that a lot of young people prefer to rent. Well, I don't know.
Me.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
hello.
Kat and I are in this conversation.
Gen
And
Y,
what we would like to say is that,
I'm talking about people younger than you,
all right,
actually.
Kat, take it away. You're the expert in this, but I'm right behind you.
Yes. No, we all know that there is value in homeownership. It creates legacy wealth. It really allows us to propel ourselves and others forward, right?
But but you said it yourself. You've bought and, you have houses or, properties. When you were buying during your time,
I
homes,
built 2 houses.
the housing market was much different. You could get a ranch style, home in close to inside the loop for much less than what you can get it for now.
But I remember my favorite thing was to look at the Sunday Chronicle home section every Sunday morning, just thumbing through and see what's for sale. And it was all out of reach. It was like, oh my gosh, how does anybody ever afford a $350,000 house?
$350,000 house. Kat, take it away.
I mean,
Oh my gosh.
I know. Now
Yes.
it's 1.350.
Yeah,
I know that.
exactly.
It is.
I know that.
Yeah.
But it's always, like you say, there are creative ways to really, if you find your dream home, there's a good realtor can figure out a way to get it to you.
100%. And the key is that, again, you find a great realtor. Please interview multiple realtors to make sure that you're comfortable with them. Go ahead and be honest with your financial status. So I had just closed a deal this week, and we talked through everything. They had just retired. Well, guess what? You don't have income coming in.
I know that.
You're not going to get a mortgage. So talking with our financial advisor and making sure everything is in line, we were able to put in an offer and get it closed.
And this deal with representing the buyer and the seller, or both of them, that kind of changed recently.
So it is a conflict of interest, personally. I don't think it's a great idea to do both at the same time, but there are very professional realtors out there that can do that.
We have a caller on the line, Ronnie from Pasadena, who has a question for Kat.
Please interview multiple.
Hi. Yes,
Hi, Ronnie.
I was trying to sell my house recently, and the market went soft right whenever I was trying to sell it. And part of that problem was realtor fees are just so high that it was going to be almost $15,000 for me to sell my house. And I was going to have to cut a check at closing, which was definitely not something I wanted to do. So now I'm going to rent out my house. And I've never done that before. Nobody in my family's ever done that before. I'm curious about the tax breaks on doing maintenance and repairs on the house. And I think I have to remove the homestead because it won't be my primary residence anymore. Let me know what you think about all that.
Yeah, that's a very large amount of information that I can go with. So, so number one, realtor fees are negotiable. They are always negotiable, and I think that's important that you know. And for me, during my entire career, I have not increased my fee. It's a set amount.
6%?
And I'll discuss it one-on-one with my clients.
I understand.
But it's a percent.
It's a percentage. And that percentage is usually it's been a stable number for hundreds of years in real estate. So we're not asking for raises. It's just the property prices are going up, right? And if you choose to rent your property because it's not selling, a lot of my personal clients are doing that right now because they want X amount and the market's not going to get it there. So we're going to put in a tenant. You need to talk to your accountant about the best way to manage the maintenance fees, the tenant paying rent, all of those different pieces of the puzzle to make sure that you make the best decision for your family.
Yes, please keep going, Kat.
And so you also have to understand that being on the market for a long period of time is frustrating and it's not ideal. But to slowly but surely chip away maybe $1,000 a month off that list price could actually stimulate a buyer too. So again, talk about the strategy. Look at the numbers. Overall, if your price range is seeing an increase in sales, why don't you just hold tight? Be patient, let it play out. If you're seeing a decline in that number, then let's investigate to see, well, what kind of inventory is actually available? Because the $150,000 to $200,000 price point doesn't see a lot of movement because there's just not inventory available. So there's a lot of data and numbers to crunch to come up with an appropriate strategy, whether you're selling, trying to buy, rent, all of those different pieces of the puzzle.
And you're listening to Hello Houston. We are talking with Kat Robinson with the Houston Association of Realtors, Vice Chair, and an agent with Compass Real Estate. We have another caller, Jasmine from Sugarland. Jasmine, what's your question for Kat?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
My question for Kat would be, what is her advice for Airbnb businesses? Where will be the best location for buyers on a small budget?
Okay, so short-term rentals are a hot topic right now
Yes.
with our city and our state. So number one, be sure that you do your due diligence in the neighborhood because some HOAs are cracking down on it.
Yeah.
Some cities and counties are cracking down on Airbnbs. So there's a lot of resources available for those who want to invest in an Airbnb. And I'm happy to get those out on a personal level. The key is that you look for a place where there's a lot of tourism, there's always a win, or where there's not a lot of housing available. So a lot of grandparents love to do an Airbnb so they can stay close by to the parent or to their grandkids for a month or two. Right. And so I think those are some opportunities that are overlooked whenever it comes to location.
I guess I'm going to know your answer, at least your feelings about this question, but your thoughts on for sale by owner, foregoing a realtor and just selling to someone who's interested in your property.
It happens all the time. And for those who are experienced sellers, you know what? Go for it. I would obviously say, hey, can I interview for the job? But I think if you are well versed in it and are comfortable with understanding inspections, understanding mortgage, understanding title, all of those different pieces, then you know what? Go for it. We all love to save money.
Yeah.
Right. But I will say that there are so many pieces of the puzzle that I would recommend hiring a realtor to make sure that everything
Right. You do
goes
more
as-
than just show houses.
Oh, we are
Yeah.
way more than door openers. That is a fact.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if we have Trudy on the line. I think Trudy's still with us. Do you have a call? Do you have a question for us, Trudy?
Yes.
Trudy, I hear a
my
marching
question
band in the background.
Yeah, sorry, I'm driving.
Okay. What's your question?
Yeah, my question is, I'm trying to buy a house as a first-time home buyers, and I'm trying to get all the benefits I can get. I'm in medical field, and I've heard stories that they do have, like, some healthcare workers benefits for buying first-time home buyer, and also they have federal grants. So I wanted to find out the resources for all those benefits that I can benefit from.
First-time home buyer.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Trudy.
Thank you,
And
Trudy.
What are the
healthcare.
options for her?
Yeah, so you can have your FHA loan for sure. That's 3.5% down, and most of the mortgage companies that offer the FHA loan will also give benefits to our healthcare workers, our first responders, teachers. So those are really incredible opportunities. Again, the low to moderate income areas, which again, Spring Branch qualifies for that, which is a great school district. You can get 0% down, no PMI, and it's a win. That saves hundreds of dollars every month.
Frank was just doing a cheer symbol back there.
Yeah, he almost did a cartwheel.
Well, it's hardly ever used, you know? I mean, it's just a ripoff.
Yeah. So, Trudy, I think the key is that you sit down with a realtor, talk about what your goals are, what your budget is, and talk to many, many lenders about their programs before you apply. Again, you don't want your credit checked multiple times by multiple lenders. You need to talk to them about what programs they have for first-time home buyers and for healthcare workers. And if they don't have anything, say next. Move on to the next one.
There you go.
Kat, thank you very much. And that was great advice to end on for folks. Kate.